All right, it's that time of year again. We all despise it. It's pool closing time of year, and we've got a little bit of prep to do before we close it. This video is not how to close the pool on the day of closing. It's how to prep before you close it so that it comes out the cleanest in the spring. Okay, because there's nothing worse than a very black pool in the spring that you have to dig all the crap out of. So let's figure out how we're going to put it away nice and clean so you don't have to do that. Here we go. So if you're like me, you have a yard that has a nice giant tree or many around them that start to, it's not even, most things haven't even changed color. We're heading into October 1st here, but an oak tree, all of its leaves just simply die and drop. And so, this is what we have to deal with. Leaves all over the top of the pool. You can see kind of the darkness there. Lots of leaves at the bottom of the pool. We need to clean all of that up, because if we leave that for the spring, all of that's going to be organic crap that we end up having to deal with in the spring rather than now. If we deal with it now, then we'll have less of it to deal with in the spring. Now, if you have a porous cover, you're going to still have algae. And a porous cover, I mean those elephant skin stretched covers, you're still going to have algae. It's not going to come out blue. It's never going to come out blue that way because the oxygen gets into it all winter long. And also the wind lifts those covers up a little bit. So some of the debris still gets under there. There's still going to be organics under there. But that being said, we want to get this initial crap out of it to make it a little less daunting in the spring. Now for me, I've got an issue already starting here. My salt is a little bit low, so I've already inspected the cell, so ignore that yellow. But the cell should be inspected. Just get it cleaned up, do all the things you need to do so it's nice and clean when you put it back together in the spring. But for now, we're going to need to go and dump some salt in the pool, let it circulate before we close it tomorrow. Now all of those leaves that we saw, I'm going to actually have to clean that up before I dump the salt in, because the salt initially is going to sit down there at the bottom. If I start cleaning, I'm actually going to just suck up all the salt again and not have solved my salt problem. So we'll leave that salt problem until we finish cleaning the pool. Now for me, I also shut her down. With the water not moving, it's way easier to see the bottom. Now I'm going to try and get this top stuff off first. You can see the skimmer's full because it's been emptied multiple times per day, but when we look at it, it's still stuffed with leaves, and that's because this just keeps happening because of my lovely oak tree above. All right, so pool is off now, and we've cleaned all the crap off the top, and you can see how much easier it is to see everything without the returns going. So there's a return right here. You got nothing coming out of it. Now I can see everything I need to remove from the bottom, which will make this thing nice and sparkling clean before we put it away for the winter. Dog alert. So to take care of the leaves, we have two choices. One of the choices, of course, is to use your robot vacuum, but you can see that this guy's not going to probably be able to handle all of this mess. All right, so what we do is we use one of these guys. It's really quick. You plug your hose into it, and away you go. It actually starts to suck up all the leaves into this bag, and then you can just dump them out. It's a relatively quick process. Now these vacuums can be a little deceiving. If you look at this now, you can see that we got a nice little hot air balloon effect. Just like hot air, leaves rise. You have to use these things slowly. This is not like your regular vacuum where you can whip along the bottom. I do find you have to use this slowly, and then every once in a while you'll have to stop, especially when you get into these deep leaves, and let it pack the leaf bag full of those leaves. Let those leaves rise like hot air, and it will actually fill the bag and pack it so you don't have to empty it as often. A lot of people think you have to empty this frequently because it looks so full, but if you let it sit for a second, you'll see all the leaves rise into the bag, and that allows you to pack it a little deeper, and that way you can use it. And there we go, all cleaned up and ready for winter. There's the odd leaf left over on top. I'm hoping the skimmer will catch that once I finish cleaning that out, but otherwise we are ready to close her up. If you like this video, like and subscribe.